Okay, guys, we are back. I've put back my tablet in proper position. I've kept aside my mouse. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys it's not going to be completely relied upon only the tablet here. Okay, we only have 10 shortcut keys assigned for the photo editing app for in the tablet, because like photo editing app could have several thousand tools. Okay, so I will still be needing the keyboards. Okay, so I'll try to let you guys know about the shortcut keys that I use on keyboard when needed. Okay, I technically speaking I forgot one application which is called Keycaster. Okay, so this Keycaster will yeah just want that to be on the menu. Okay, so this Keycaster cap will give you the uh, keys that I press on the keyboard, and it will pop up on the screen, and you will know like what key that I pressed. Okay, without even for me to tell you every time like this is the key that I am pressing here. Okay, so hope you will understand what I'm doing then. So we'll without further ado, like of several things which got changed in 3.5 months. One will be the batteries of my keyboard and mouse, and the scratch card for my mobile phone. Like I've changed a couple of them, and due to skating and other things, it got cracked, and this new scratch guard kind of forms bubbles whenever I mount it on the clippers of the mobile stand. Like when it grips, it kind of forms the bubbles. So the touch functions are a little off right now. It's not like perfect. I have to press a little bit stronger. Okay, so those are the things little changed. But I'm going to edit a photograph from 2021 gallery, but which I temporarily dropped it into the 2022 folder. I have not dropped any photographs in my gallery for 2022 yet. Planning to edit a new one, but today I'll show you the old one here. So I am too shy to put my shadow photograph for sale on a gallery, but I came out of that shyness when I posted this on my gallery. It's still there in the Gallery of Fine Art America, and also in Flickr. People who wanted to buy, you can go and follow the procedures that has been said in codforstudios.in. Okay, that's my website, a good plugin of my business. So let me open this. So by the way, the benchmark scores of Affinity Photo for my old computer on new Mac OS Monterey was terrible. So I don't want to show you the complete benchmark results here. Okay, so we are here. As you see, I've been using the Huion Pen Tablet for completely bringing this file into this Affinity Photo application, and then moving this file, and everything. Okay, so we are in the developer zone. As soon as you bring the raw file into Affinity Photo, just like Camera Raw opens with Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, it has the inbuilt raw editor, which is called personas here, and one of the persona is develop persona. It's a raw editor here. So I'll do some basic editings, I'll do some refinements, I'll add some 3 or 4 here. Okay, and you can adjust the sliders like this with the pen. It works perfectly fine. You just have to press and hold and just move your pen here to slide them, and you don't have to press any keys. By the way, I have assigned this lower key as a middle click button, and the upper key as a double click button on my pen. Okay, so sorry, I just shake the mobile phone here. So you just slide it that way, or just click inside to change the values, or you can click as one single click with the pen, hit it on the pen tablet, to change the values through the arrow keys or the sliders here. Okay, so that's how you change the values there. And if you want to sorry, let's get into a full view here, so it'll be easy for us. So you have to go click the slider here, press and hold, and move it. okay, if you want to see the lower side of the menus over there. Okay, so then I go to lens. Obviously this is a manual focus lens, which is definitely not available, and this was Optical 12mm f2.8 lens. This is kind of similar to Samyang 12mm. It's not the same lens, but it's something similar to that, but that is f2. So if you want to adjust something with this, you can still choose this, or you can ignore the lens correction, lens profile completely. Okay, so then if you want to remove all the post crop vignette, remove the lens vignette, defringe them, the complementary hues, chromatic aberrations if any, and you do that. It's going to take a couple of minutes to complete that. Okay, till now I have not touched my keyboard at all. I've been using only the pen tablet here. We'll come to the shortcuts in a short while when we get into the photo editing table. As such, there are no shortkeys assigned in the develop persona or within the raw editor of the Affinity photo application. Okay, so it's still calculating the chromatic aberration for your raw photograph here. So quick advice, if you're going to do such chromatic aberrations or any color adjustments or any sort of heavy duty calculations to your photograph, it's better you do it after you crop your photograph. Okay, so I always crop it to widescreen crop. So just like that, I just did the widescreen crop here. It's good, I like the crop. Okay, so I'm going to go and do some basic adjustments here. I'm going to increase the exposure a little bit and increase the black points a little bit and give some contrast. I use these arrow keys to be precise, with the numbers that I wanted. Okay, because sometimes the sliders I kind of overdo it and I may not be able to stop it to the exact figure that I want. Okay, so it's better you click and feed in that you want, and when you're trying to slide these numbers, like it kind of jumps to unimaginative figures sometimes. So that's why I don't do that. I use the arrow keys or the sliders. Okay, and then I change the profiles here itself, though I apply it later when I export the file. I do change it as a raw file just to get some extra information onto my files, into the image. I change it in the raw image itself. So I want to darken the shadows a little bit without clipping. You saw that there was some sort of clipping when I was darkening the shadows. I've switched on all the clipping informations on there and added a little bit of highlights. There are no highlights literally visible here, but the sand is all silicone, right? It will reflect some highlights here. If you want, you can even cut the highlights off as much as possible. When you take the file into Silver FX Pro, it might actually brighten the image way too much. Okay, so I'm happy with this crop and basic edits that I could extract from the raw image and all the raw information. So then I go there and hit the develop button. So after this, remember what I did in my regular photo editing procedures that I showed you, like what I do after bringing the image to the photo editing table. I duplicate the layer. So what is the key that I have assigned for duplicating the layer? Let me just get out of the full screen mode here. Let me get out of the full screen mode so that I could hit the drivers and show you all the shortcuts that I'm going to use in this Affinity photo application with Huion Pen Tablet HS611. So what I do is I duplicate the layer. That is the procedure we are going to hold on right now. Let me show you all the shortcut keys which I have assigned to the 10 keys that's there on the Huion Pen Tablet. First one is Command S. Command S means save. If I hit the first button, Command S, it's going to save the file. Okay, so let me navigate the folder that I want to put that file to. It's 2022, that's the folder. So let me go and save this document. So you always save the document before you do the edit, and you do save the documents in between your edits. If you want, you can turn on the autosave button, but since I'm having some space crunch, I'm not doing that. Okay, so next shortcut key assigned to the layer here. Second key is Alt Shift Command S. Alt Shift Command S. What is Alt Shift Command S does? It's export button. Okay, so export button. So if you want to, when you're done with the editing, you press the second key to export your file. Okay, so I just want to keep them together so that I'll remember it easily. The first one is save the document. Second one is export. What is the third one is for? Third one is B. B means brush. So if I click brush, so I go get the brush here. Okay, so if I want to paint something, write something, you know, I could do that. Or if I'm working on some sort of mask, you know, with this, I could use that brush for, okay, over the mask. Okay, and the most important key here, the last one is Command Z. Let me come, and let's undo all the rubbish that we did to this file. So the third one is brush, the fourth one is decrease brush size, fifth one is increase brush size. So when I'm here on the brush, when I click this, it shows the brush button. So when I click this left square bracket, it's going to decrease the size of the brush. When I'm going to hit the right bracket, right square bracket, it's going to increase the brush. Okay, hope you guys can see the number of times I pressed that to increase the brush size. Okay, so those are the first 5 keys here. Okay, the first 5 keys are as such. This is Command S to save the file. This is to export the file inside Affinity photo application. This is brush. This is decrease brush size, and this is increase brush size. Okay, so it's all, I'm just putting it in a sequence. Okay, save for save and export, which has similar functions, into one category here, nearby buttons, and then all the 3 related to brush category over there. This increase and decrease of brush size will also work with in paint, healing brush, and all that functions as well. So we'll get there. Okay, so next comes the J. What is J function is for? J function is for in paint tool or healing brush tool. When you keep pressing J, you know, Affinity photo will shuffle between the brush tool that is there assigned for J. J means in paint brush tool. In paint brush tool is content aware fill for Affinity photo. So I use the sliders over the top of the Affinity, the Huion Pen Tablet, so to zoom the file. Okay, then I press space bar to move the, I'm sorry, the keyboard shortcut key kind of fills the screen when I press this space bar. Okay, so I use the content aware fill here just to remove the unwanted layers that is there in the image. You know, I'm just showing some sample here, so it's as simple as this to remove do content aware fill. You know, you don't have to select a patch and then move the patch to a different location and stuff like that. You just brush it over, it'll remove the object from that particular image. Okay, then I zoom out and press space to move and position the file that is required for me. Okay, so that's easy for me to remove such things. I do this before duplicating the file, because the duplicated file is going to be the final image which you are going to edit. Okay, so then go to the driver. What is the 6th key? Command J. Command J, what it does, it duplicates the layer. That is the shortcut for duplicating the layer. When I hit it, it duplicates the selected layer. Okay, so that is the 7th shortcut key. What is the 8th shortcut key? It goes like Control Alt Shift Command. Yes, what is that? Such a complicated shortcut key here. So that shortcut key was actually assigned to open Silver FX Pro. You should actually open. Why now? Okay, I have the name selected, so that's why it was not opening. Okay, sometimes it may not work. Okay, so I assigned this key to open Silver FX Pro, but it's not opening right now. But it did work when I was assigning to it. So just for you guys to know, let me show you how to assign a shortcut key here quickly. So Affinity Photo, inside the photo, Affinity Photo, you go to filters. That's where the Silver FX Pro is. Go here. So every time you open Affinity Photo and close Affinity Photo, the shortcut keys for the plugins, it kind of vanishes, or I forgot to save it. I do not know. So what I did, I assign a Shift, Control, Command, Alt. Yes, such a complicated shortcut key here. So let us assign it for Silver FX Pro again. Okay, save it. Oh, you're exporting. When you're saying it's exporting, okay, you just have to press the key. It will be stored for that particular session. Okay, so when you've done that, you have duplicated the layer, and when you press this key, which is supposed to be opening the Silver FX Pro, that's what we did. So when oh no, I'm sorry, I came out of I was on the general application, which opened the screen brush tool here. So the 8th key, when you press it right now, because we just assigned the shortcut for Affinity Photo. Okay guys, so it's a lesson learned. This shortcut is not working for us right now. Okay, so kindly forgive me. I'm going to go as use the pen as a mouse right now and go and open the Silver FX Pro. That shortcut, actually, trust me, it worked when I was assigning the shortcut to it. When I am doing it for the second time, it's not working. I'm so sorry for what has happened right now. So you understand, like, this driver for Mac OS from Huion is so buggy for HS611 tablet. So then I go and select some, the whatever plugin that I want to, or the look constructed look that is there for this photograph. I just apply it, increase some highlights. I do it in a very light fashion. I don't overdo my things here. Okay, I don't adjust the master controls here. Okay, so I only adjust the smaller controls. Okay, you use the sliders with the pen. You touch, hold it, and just increase or decrease the things. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so you can increase or decrease things, or brighten or darken the things. So it depends upon you what you want to do with it. Okay, if you want to adjust the fine structure, or you can increase the mass structure on the whole. That's too heavy. That's why I adjusted in the inside things, which is very small. Okay, so then if you want to apply any particular film look, this particular second version of Silver FX Pro has only these many film looks, but the newer version 4 or 5 has a lot of film looks here. My favorite is Aqua APX Pro 100 or Fuji Neopan Acros 100. I'm sorry, Acros 100. Or sometimes I do go crazy and put Tri-X 400 here. Okay, that's my go-to film, that one, or Ilford HP5 or Delta 400 Pro for all conditions. That's what I would choose if I'm going for a film. But I like the fine grain here, so I'm going to choose Fuji Neopan for this look. The grain is 448. I'm going to leave it to that. If you want to adjust the color filters, because this is Fuji X Pro 2 camera, it has color filters. Okay, color filter array to the sensor, external sensor. So definitely it has the information of reds, yellows, greens, and blue. If you want, you can adjust that information, and you can even further increase or decrease that information in the curves. Okay, if you want to add vignette and other things that you want to do to the image, you can absolutely do it. Okay, for now I feel like I have edited this image. These are basic edits. I'm just rushing things up, you know, like if I'm going to edit this image, if I'm going to explain you guys like every you know, bits like zeros and binaries like zeros and ones and everything, it's going to take quite a long. This is not a photo editing explanation session. This is about the shortcuts that you use with Huion Pen Tablet HS611. We have seen 8, we have only 2 left. That's what we're going to do right now. So what are the last 2 shortcut keys? We understood like the 8th one did not work. That was actually assigned to Silver FX Pro 2 of DxO Labs Nick Collection. Nick Collections was a free version from Google, but later DxO Labs acquired it and it's working on its developments. Okay, so the 8th key did not work, but that key was assigned for Silver FX Pro. So the 9th key is Alt S. Okay, so what is Alt S here? And before Alt S, let's see the last one. 10th we saw already, which is Command Z. Command Z means undo. So 9th key is the only key which we have to see. The shortcut for 9th key is it opens the library. So what library holds? Library holds the set of scripts or the action scripts there. In Affinity Photo, the action scripts, which are called action scripts inside Adobe Photoshop, is called as macros. So it has some macro scripts, predefined macro scripts. So this platinum palladium light look and high pass filter look was created by me. These 2 are the custom action scripts which was created by me, custom macros. Okay, so unfortunately the driver of Huion Pen Tablet within Affinity Photo doesn't work with the macros. Okay, so if you're going to click, it's not going to work. It's not going to execute that action script. Okay, this is another con. This is a problem with the driver. There is hell a lot of problems with the drivers of Huion. So in that way, I would suggest you to buy a vacuum tablet. Okay, it has proper integration with Mac OS and all the drivers works in all, you know, conjunction with the operating system, and like it doesn't like vacuum tablet works like it's part of a Mac OS what do you call that, ecosystem. Okay, so Huion tablet is an alien. It doesn't work properly, but it's cheap, you know, it's affordable, and you get a bigger tablet for the same price of the basic bamboo tablet of vacuum. So when Huion Pen Tablet HS611 doesn't work with a left click or right click, left click doesn't work with your macros, what you do is right click works. So you right click, you press the second button on your pen, you hover your mouse cursor over the macros that you want to execute, you right click, then say edit macro. So the script, the actions that you performed in order will be listed on the macros here. Then you hit the left, use the pen as a left mouse button and hit the play button. So when you hit the play button, it will execute the entire 3 steps of forming a platinum palladium look over here. Okay, then you use as a mouse, use your pen as a mouse, go to library by hitting it, selecting it one single time. Then you do hover your mouse cursor over high pass sharpen action script or macro script, then hit the right click button, then say edit macro. So edit macro will list the series of action scripts that you pre-programmed. Then hit the play button as a left mouse button. It's going to execute the high pass action script for the selected layer. So here just for demonstration I showed you, I forgot to select the correct layer to execute the script. So I'm going to go select the action layer here, the actual edited photograph image layer, then again do the left mouse click. So it executes the high pass filter thing, and you can now close as a mouse with the pen tablet, with the pen, like you just hit the X mark over there, it closes. So now you have the finally edited file. So as you guys remember, you save the document by hitting Command S, the very first button of your Huion Pen Tablet. Okay, let's give it a couple of minutes. This is a very old computer. It takes hell a lot of time to save or export. So then you hit the second button to export the file, so which is going to be JPEG. Here you can, if you want, you can export PNGs, TIFF, Targa, like these are the best formats that you can export. Actually, we used to export Targa for compositions, compositing, and TIFF and this thing. These are 16-bit and 32 bits if you want. We worked on 8 and 16 bits back then when I was Visual FX animator, mostly on Maya Dynamics. Okay, we did not have pen tablets back then, in FX industry, but the texturing people did have the vacuum pen tablet. Okay, so here we go. We're going to export it as a JPEG file. Hit use your pen as a left mouse button and just click once on the pen. It's very soft. It's going to respond immediately. Okay, if it not respond, just try it again. It's going to work properly. Okay, that's how you use all the 10 shortcut keys of your Huion Pen tablet of the entire editing procedure which I showed you guys before. Okay, we saw once with the mouse, and we now saw a little bit detail, not everything, but a little bit in detail, like how I consolidated all the procedures and put them into 10 steps in short steps into Huion Pen Tablet HS611. And parallelly I've been using the keyboard as well, like for holding the pan key. You can go and choose the tools that you wanted as a left mouse as well, or you can use the keyboard shortcut, space bar, for doing that. Okay, you can still use the keyboard for everything that you need. I'm going to close the document. Command W for that, Command Q to quit the Affinity photo. Okay, so let's close the driver over there, and let's take a look at the edited photograph. I'm going to press space. You open the preview of the edited file. Okay, it's not that different, but it's could be better actually. I've been doing it very faster. I had a lot of time to edit that one. So this is the final edited photograph. So this is the proper procedure within Affinity Photo to use the Huion Pen Tablet HS611. So let's do a small recap of the shortcut keys which I assigned to this pen tablets. First one is Command S, which is save. Let's go into the brush board. So this is save, export. The second one is for export. Both are similar functions. Third one is brush, B. Then fourth one is decrease the brush size, which is left square bracket. Fifth one is increase the brush size, which is right square bracket. And sixth one is J. I know this by heart because I've been editing for quite a while. So seventh one is Command J, which means new layer. Simply J means in Paint tool, which is nothing but content aware fill. Good. QuickTime is working, screen recording is working, my mobile phone is working. So the eighth one was supposed to be for Silver FX Pro, which is not working today. But it's always with Affinity Photo that the plugins, you can't assign action scripts or macros to open that particular plugin. It doesn't work inside Affinity Photo. Hope if Affinity Photo watches my video, they could add something for adding shortcuts to open plugins. Okay, so the eighth one was assigned for Silver FX Pro, which was not working. Ninth one was Alt S, which was meant for opening library. Library holds the set of macros. Macros is nothing but action scripts. Okay, so this is last one is Command Z, which is undo. Okay, so these are the 10 shortcut keys which I assigned to edit my photograph, and this is since I edit mostly the repeated number of photographs, like in a bulk numbers, I only edit in a certain way, one particular order, so this is more convenient for me, like this, for going for, I don't edit it as a bulk, like as an entire folder, though each and every photograph needs some separate attention. But these are the most common keys that I use to fasten up my workflow. Okay, and this is definitely useful, I should say. I've been using most of the keys except for Silver FX Pro, that's for sure. Silver FX Pro, like I'll forget and I'll always go use it with my left mouse button. Okay, so these are the common shortcut keys which I assigned to my Huion Pen tablet with Affinity Photo for editing a photograph. Hope this session was really useful. Okay, and as I promised before, like I told, like I'll show how to use this pen tablet for video editing or layer-based compositing software like Motion, or this is layer-based. Motion is layer-based compositing software, or Natron. Forgive my voice. Natron is node-based compositing software, which is something like Nuke and Ion. Sorry, not Ion. This time it is DaVinci Fusion. The compositing software inside DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Fusion. It's all node-based softwares. Natron is open source. Okay. And we have photo editing, Affinity Photo. We have video editing software. We have a vector-based software, Inkscape, which is open source again. And I have a lot of open source softwares. Darktable, open source again. Krita, painting. Okay, so when I was looking at the experience of using Affinity Photo application with assigning these 10 shortcuts and using it for photo editing, what my experience was like, I had to remember all the 10 keyboard shortcuts which was assigned to these 10 keys. I have to remember it, no other go. Okay, no other way. So if you imagine the number of applications that you can use this pen tablet with, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to remember 70 shortcut keys that I have assigned to all these applications, which is incredibly difficult for a person like me and a person with such a very small brain and memory, like to contain all these shortcuts along with other things that I do. So forgive me to say this. It's really hard for me to remember all the 70 shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. Yeah. So what I decided is, like, if I happen to feel like something important, I'll show you or make a separate video about video editing with Huion Pen tablets and showing you my choice of shortcut keys assigned to these 10 keys in Huion Pen Tablet HS611. Okay, otherwise, like, it's going to be the usual way which you saw in Affinity Photo. So you got to assign the most used keyboard shortcuts that is required for you to continue your video editing in a fast pace or a smooth pace. Okay, so that's how it's going to work with video editing software or compositing softwares or vector-based design software or raw photo editor, open source photo editor like Darktable, or painting software like Krita, which is also an open source, and it's also an 2D animator tool. It's also an vector-based software. It's also an image editing software. So Krita is multiple things, but it's going to be the same thing. You're going to assign 10 different keyboard shortcut keys for each program, and all I can tell you is, like, my choices of 10 keys that I'm using with my usual work. But when you look at the usual work that I do with my pen tablets, I only use Affinity Photo. I use Final Cut Pro most of the time, and there are very less chances like I use Motion and Inkscape. These days, in literally no Inkscape at all for a quite long time. Motion, if and only I need some effects or some sort of plugin or generator or some sort of title effects that is required inside Final Cut Pro. That is very rare. And I use Darktable only to add borders in my photo images. So since it's not it's out of the topic, and Darktable is a separate this thing I'm not showing you right now, and Krita is total different world, so I'm not using it that at all. Painting, no, 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 I'm not painting these days. So it's only literally, like three applications, two applications, Affinity Photo and Final Cut Pro. So uh, tell me, like, this is a photography channel. Like, I'm not sure like what to talk about with video editing here. So that's why we'll see if it is totally required, and if you people insist, I'll work on something that I can use this Huion Pen Tablet HS611 with Final Cut Pro of the latest version when I make that video. Okay, otherwise it's all right. It's all right. It's absolutely all right. It's going to be similar procedures. You have a work area. You use your pen. It has a middle click and a double click here assigned. And when you use the pen with the tablet, it's going to be left click, and you can draw, paint, drag the sliders, increase the values and stuff like that. And you have 10 shortcut keys to work with, and you have media controls. That's all. It's going to be repetitive stuff with every other software that you want to use this pen tablet with. So kindly forgive me on that if I'm not going to make that video for every single software, because it's going to be boring, and you guys are really smarter than me. You'll figure it out on your own, like how this is going to work. It's repetitive. So hope this episode was useful, and that's how you use the Huion Pen Tablet HS611 for photo editing with Affinity Photo application, which has the built-in raw editor and a photo editing table, layer-based photo editing table. Okay, so yep, that's all. Hope it was useful. This is Kicha, a fine art photographer and a distance skater, signing off. See you guys. Bye bye. Peace. Hi guys, this is an opportunity to correct my mistake which I made in my vlog, part 1 and part 2. I'm going to add this video at the end of both part 1 and part 2. It's just that I misled a few details, like because I forgot to tell them to you guys properly, because the entire vlog was done in 1 hour time, 1 hour or 1.5 hour time period continuously. So, and all the vlog was totally unscripted, and I don't have proper spaces to insert the text or subtitles, or put proper pause the video and put a correction video in between. Okay, so it's also interconnected and flowing, like I could not find a space to put this mistake correction video, so I'm going to add this at the end of both the vlogs. Okay, so one mistake what I did is when your driver is running. Okay, so you have to have your driver running for the pen tablet to work. Huion Pen Tablet HS611 to work. Okay, so the mistake what I did was I told you guys, you have to choose the configured application that you have assigned all the shortcuts to in the driver menu, for you to make use of those short keys for that application. Say in my case, Affinity Photo. If I want to use this pen tablet or these buttons for that application, Affinity Photo, I should have chosen Affinity Photo in this drop down menu where I configured the shortcut keys for that application. Only then I'll be able to use these buttons with that particular application, Affinity Photo. That's what I told you guys. But actually, you don't have to choose the application from in the driver for which you have configured before. Okay, as long as your driver is running. Okay, whenever you choose between the application, all the shortcut keys which you have configured should work with your application. Okay, should work when you minimize Affinity Photo and get to the desktop, all programs menu. So when you get to the desktop, all programs menus configured shortcut keys will work with your Huion Pen Tablet. Okay, and when you get to the Affinity Photo application, all the shortcut keys which you have programmed for your Affinity Photo here, would work normally on your Affinity photo. As long as your driver is running, all these things will work normally. Only thing is, like, you have to remember all the shortcut keys when the to have the access to all the buttons that is there in the pen tablet. Okay, so the driver will automatically configure its button to the applications which is currently chosen and opened. Okay, so it will choose it. You don't have to come here and each time choose the proper application that you are using here. Okay, for this buttons to work, it will work even without choosing it from the drop down configured drop down menu. Okay, that is what I was supposed to say to you guys, but I actually forgot to I told only one point wherein, like, you will have to memorize all the shortcut keys for all the 7 applications. Okay, so it will work even when you are not choosing it from the configured drop down menu. Okay, that's one thing. Number two is, like, if you have to check one of the shortcut keys which you have configured for this particular button for one particular application. Okay, and you forgot that what that shortcut key which you have assigned for that particular button. Okay, so if you don't remember, in that case you might have to come here to the driver's drop down menu, choose the application that you want to which you are going to use, and you have to then hover your cursor over these buttons to know the shortcut key that you have assigned. To know all the shortcut keys which you have assigned for that particular application, you need to have the driver opened. Then you have to choose the application from here, then hover it to know the shortcut key you have assigned to it. Okay, that is what I was supposed to say, and I mistakenly said, like, it won't work. All the buttons will work when your drivers are running, and it will adapt to the currently opened application. Okay, so whenever you minimize it, it will update to the desktop. Whenever you are on the application, it will get to the uh, uh, that particular configured application. Okay, so Huion tablet works that way as long as it is running. Okay, if it is not running, it won't work. That is what I was supposed to say. So kindly forgive me, forgive that detail, and sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, hope it helps. Thank you so much.